Deirdre, Tom Prince. We're here at WNXP.
Do you adore me? Am I everything you wish you had? Or am I everything you determine? Do you adore me? Am I everything you wish you had? Is the taste of my skin onion so turned bad? They never call me buff or beautiful. They only call me insane. They never call me buff or beautiful. They only call me insane. And now I'm living life being plentiful, and I'm going insane. They never call me buff or beautiful. They only call me insane. Do you adore me? Am I everything you wanted now? Or am I everything you despise? Do you adore me? Does this picture now not suit your taste? Or I disgrace what you built with your very eyes? I can see it in the feeling, and I feel them sinking. Here the water is freezing, and I wanna go. I can see it in the feeling, I can feel that I'm sinking. Here the water is freezing, and I wanna go. If they call me buff, beautiful, they only call me insane. They never call me buff, beautiful, they only call me insane. And now I'm living life free and plentiful, and I'm going insane. They never call me buff, beautiful, they only call me insane. They're damn right. She's a bad stroke of luck. Yeah, they hit her with the book. She's got a face for every place. You'll never know how she looks. And if heaven was a hero, then she'd go on and sing it. Drink the poison from the wine without a breath. Go on and sing it. She's got to seek for peace when she's down on her knees, and she's praying to a God in which she don't think she believes. But the nectar is sweet as a blessed ought to be. Running through this cross the country, yeah, with Thelma and Louise. What it seems, it's not all what it seems. And how does it taste? It's not all what it seems. Well, she's a right closed book with the killer of a look. She's got a face for every place and a hotel full of love. If a secret is a sinner, she's a category winner. Hold the prize from the mantle, yeah, she chewed me up like dinner. She chewed me up like dinner. She chewed me up like dinner. 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 She chewed me up like dinner. 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 She chewed me up like dinner. 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 She chewed me up like dinner. Chewed me up like dinner. She chewed me up like dinner. She chewed me up like dinner. She's a right close book with the killer on the look. She got a face for every place and a hotel full of love. If a secret is a sinner, she's a category winner. Pull the prize from the muzzle. Yeah, she chewed me up like dinner. She chewed me up like dinner. She chewed me up
We've been Sprints. Thank you so much for listening.
Wear your name like it's a noose around my neck. I slipped a rope to fall just right into the net. I wear a smile like it's a runner. Your despise like a badge of honor. Say she's good for an up-and-comer. She's good for an up-and-comer. I wear your smile like it's a runner. Your despise like a badge of honor. Say she's good for an up-and-comer. She's good for an up-and-comer. Swim the seas between paranoia and disbelief. I reach the surface, but the air is hard to breathe. I wear a smile like it's a runner. You're despised like a badge of honor. Say she's good for an up-and-comer. She's only good for an up-and-comer. Wear your smile like it's a runner. You're despised like a badge of honor. Say she's good for an up-and-comer. Say she's good for an up-and-comer. If you beat her like a chump, if you beat her like a heart, I bet you'll fire. Pull you through, I swear to God, she'll make a start. They say she's good for an up-and-comer. Now I'll please be an up-and-comer. I wear your name like it's a noose around my neck. I spent your love like it's money I haven't got just yet. I wear a smile like it's a runner. You're despised like a badge of honor. Say she's good, an up-and-comer. She's only good for an up-and-comer. Wear your smile like it's a runner. You're despised like a badge of honor. They say she's good for an up-and-comer. She's only good for an up-and-comer. If you beat her like a chump, if you beat her like a heart, I bet you'll fire. Pull you through, I swear to God, she'll make a start. Say she's good for an up-and-comer, and I'd please be an up-and-comer. Here we go, the devil's knocking at my door. Here we go, the devil's knocking at my door. Here we go, the devil's knocking at my door. Here we go, the devil's knocking at my door. If you beat her like a heart, I bet you'll fire. For you soon, I swear to God, she'll make a start. Say she's good for an up-and-comer. Ah, please be an up-and-comer. I say she's good for an up-and-comer. Can I please be an up-and-comer? Say she's good for an up-and-comer. Ah, please be an up-and-comer. Here we go, the devil's knocking at my door. Here we go, the devil's knocking at my door.
Hey, I'm Jason Moon Wilkins inside WNXP Sonic Cathedral with the Irish band Sprints. We're very excited to have you. We've been playing your music and been playing your most recent song, Feast, as well. And you say in the statement about this that it's referring to the fact that in, where you're from, Catholicism and Christianity is so embedded in the culture that it doesn't really even matter if you go to church or if you believe or anything. It's just in there. And some of the lessons you're taught get taught to you even subconsciously. Now you're here in the American South. I feel like there's some similarities. Do you feel that at all, that similar way that culture can creep in whether you want it to or not?
Yeah, I feel like we probably haven't explored the South enough yet to make a judgment call on it, but we've passed a lot of big churches and we've seen a lot of it. And oh my God, we saw a Christian metal band yesterday for the first time and a lot of Jesus is King tops. But yeah, no, I think religion is kind of ingrained in Irish culture. The Catholic Church is involved in our education system. So from a very young age, it's kind of just always like ever present. And like I said about Feast, some of our first stories that were told and our first kind of conscious experience of storytelling is like Bible tales, because that's how we're taught what's right and what's wrong, and that's the moral code we're given. And I think think as you grow up, it's kind of difficult to detach yourself from that, especially when you have cases where the people who are preaching this virtuous script are actually oftentimes kind of committing the most heinous crimes themselves. So I think it's that paradox of being a queer woman in Ireland. I was taught that I was kind of wrong and immoral and sinful, and you end up kind of realizing that's not the truth. You're just trying to live probably what's the most virtuous life, which is just to love and to live.
Yeah. Well, you guys have been out. This is your second time in the U.S. this year? Am I
It is.
right?
We were back. We were here in March, but this one's much more extensive. We get to come to the south.
Yeah.
This time.
So that means a lot of time in the van. And I wonder for you, like I spent some time in the van back in the 90s and early aughts. The biggest arguments were often about food. I wonder for you guys, what have you discovered in the long drives? Like, okay, what is the thing that you guys might like tip the scales and argue about is it food related?
I don't think we've ever argued. I think someone suggests a terrible place to eat and we all go,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then we have arguments with our stomachs the day after.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we've all agreed to go get Nashville hot chicken after this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
Sam
okay,
found
you
a place. We're like, lock it in, put it in the schedule. We're going.
I've been told to go to Hattie B's.
Prince's. I mean, Hattie B's is very good. People in Nashville will be like, Prince's is the old school. And there's
Oh.
lots of arguments in Nashville, as you can imagine. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
it gets political really quickly, too, and fascinating. But look, I will tell you, most of it's pretty good. But yes, you're on the right track.
Okay,
Hattie B's,
nice.
Prince's, yeah, all good. So you get along now. Well, we'll check in next year.
No. No, I think honestly, like you do hear horror stories about touring, about bands, and like people are like, oh, there's two members that don't get on, and
Yeah.
I think we're very fortunate. I think one of the best things we've had the whole time we've been together is the chemistry and like the camaraderie. Like we are like a little family. We're all very dysfunctional in our own ways,
Right.
but together it works. And yeah, obviously there's kinks you work out. Like touring together is essentially living together,
Right.
and it can be tough. Like it's long days, but we understand each other and give each other the space when we need it, and no one has to ever do anything they don't want to. And I think we're very supportive when someone's anxious or sick, or if their partners are over or whatever. Like you accommodate it because it's like a nice little community.
Yeah. Well, and at least two of you, right, have known each other since you were young, like 10, 11, 12. Did I read correctly?
Me and Sam were in school together, yeah.
Yeah.
So when we were about 12, yeah.
What are your collective memories of your first bands? Are there covers? Are there gigs particularly memorable, when you very first started?
I vividly remembered, I think the first time I ever recorded, I was 12, and we did a cover of like the Guns N' Roses version of Knocking on Heaven's Door. I don't know how that ended up happening, but a friend of mine, Stephen, was the singer, and his voice hadn't broken yet. So any of my family members that heard the recording were like, who's that girl in the band? It's amazing. And he got slagged about that for many years. So yeah, that's kind of where it started for me,
It's a good place to start.
Yeah.
I do not have a story as funny as that. But yeah, we would play like some gigs together.
Yeah, me and Sam were kind of in rival bands for most of our
Yeah.
teenage years.
Oh,
So
really?
we'd be playing like at the same battle of the bands and all know each other, but in different bands.
Talking
We played
about
at
each other
the-
backstage, like,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got these guys.
Backstage. There was no backstage.
Well, okay, to the
played-
side of the of the
We
gym.
played in the Gaelic club across from my house before. That's like a. Do you know what Gaelic is? It's
Yes.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just not a place to play a gig. Like, awful.
You have that in common with Americans. We often start in gyms, which as soon as you play one tiny bit of a note, it comes slapping back at you across the way. So it's just this cacophonous, accidental psychedelic experience for 12-year-olds. It's great. Well, on your new record, your debut album that came out earlier this year, it's a continuation of some of the themes and the ideas that you have been doing since 2019, really, when you first started putting out singles. And one of the things you've been a big proponent of women's rights. I've been very outspoken about that in Ireland, but also I wonder for you now, getting out into the U.S., are you aware of the issues happening sort of state to state and things that are going on, and does that influence you in any way in what you say on stage, what you're choosing to do?
Yeah, I think when Roe v. Wade was overturned, I think that was globally very shocking and almost like something quite dystopian and out of like Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
And that's what I always loved about Margaret Atwood, was that she said that I think a lot of criticism is that her stuff is quite harsh and like unrealistic, and she says that she's never written anything that hasn't happened somewhere in the world. It's all based on real cases. So yeah, I think that was really shocking, and we can relate to that because we only voted for bodily autonomy for women, I think a couple of years ago. When was it? 2019. So we weren't that much further ahead. But it definitely, I think, impacts what we say on stage. We try to tailor our messages to where we are touring. I think in Ireland we are very outspoken on the Palestinian conflict at the moment, and obviously we fly a Palestinian flag on stage, which, to be honest, we were slightly nervous about speaking about coming over here. But I remember when we were touring in Germany, there was kind of people shouting as Sam put his flag on stage, and I turned to the guys and I was like, I'm actually kind of scared to, because we have a song that we always do a speech beforehand. I was like, I'm a bit scared to actually say it, and Jack was like, well, surely that's more reason to do it then. Like that's the whole reason we do the platform, and he was right, and we do. But I think it's a privilege to have a platform in this day and age, and I do think it's my moral obligation to do something with my voice, and I've always wanted to, and be a voice that I would have loved to hear when I was younger.
Yeah.
Speak out about that.
You have been described as punk, post-punk, garage punk, all these different things. Usually has the word punk in it when I see descriptions of your sound. But I hear lots of other things going on, lots of other elements, and especially some of the new songs you've released even since the record. And I wonder for you, where do you think your band is headed sonically? Kind of, I know you're still really on the tour of the first album, but it sounds like you are musically looking ahead.
Funk and soul. It's just going to take ages.
Bring it.
Long expensive breaks. No, we're always looking ahead, and I think when you're on tour, it's not always conducive to writing and creating, but those moments that we have on stage together, like in sound check and stuff, stuff kind of naturally comes out. But I think we're definitely experimenting with different genres. I think there's definitely a little bit of a grunge influence, I think, creeping into some of the newest stuff, and I think we just want to get louder and like a little bit weirder, to be honest. I think the debut was like a very front-on guitar rock album, and it's exactly what we wanted to do, and now it's probably time to have a little bit more fun, maybe.
We'll see what happens.
Guns N' Roses factoring in at some point? No? It's buried in there subconsciously. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Good luck with your hot chicken situation. Maybe do it after the show. You know, just professional tip there. Yeah.
I can't wait any longer.
And we hope to see you back in the U.S. soon. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks so much. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, y'all.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. I love that.